This is 5 on your side at 10.
Charges were issued today in the deadly shooting in the city's Grove neighborhood. 31-year-old Teron Bell is accused of killing Devin Trice Wednesday afternoon inside of this barbershop. Thanks for joining us. I'm Holden Kerwicki. Brent Solomon is on assignment. Police say Bell confessed to the shooting. New tonight, our Robert Townsend learned more about the innocent man who lost his life.
I talked to the family of Devin Trice. Understandably, they didn't want to talk on camera because right now they are mourning their loved one. A loved one they cannot believe walked into a barbershop here in the Grove neighborhood just a second time and lost his life. Investigators say Trice stepped inside Southside Barber and Beauty Salon around 2 Wednesday afternoon. Witnesses say within moments, Teron Bell pulled out a rifle and shot him. According to a probable cause statement, Bell then patted down Trice and shot the customer 2 more times. The 32-year-old father died inside the business. Family members tell 5 on your side Devin Trice had 3 little girls and a baby on the way. Police say after the random shooting, they arrested Bell at the scene. They tell us Bell admitted to killing the stranger, saying he believed people were looking for him. Prosecutors charged the 31-year-old suspect with first-degree murder, armed criminal action, and felon in possession of a firearm. On Sunday afternoon, family and friends of Devin Trice will gather at Tiffany Park in South St. Louis and honor him with a balloon release. Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Thank you, Robert. Today, a St. Charles man accused in a quadruple shooting was found guilty of first-degree murder. Now, death row could be in his future. Richard Darren Emery killed his girlfriend, her 2 children, and her mother in 2018. The jury deliberated for less than 2 hours today. The prosecution convinced them that Emery knew what he was doing and was not affected by mental health issues, as the defense tried to argue.
Self-preservation. In fact, that's what this entire trial is about. Darren Emery's self-preservation. He will do anything, including not remember any of the facts.
Tomorrow, the trial will move to the penalty phase, which will determine Emery's punishment. That includes the possibility of the death sentence. We'll continue to bring the latest from what happens inside the courtroom. We're tracking Ian tonight, and right now the storm is pummeling the Carolinas after it made landfall this afternoon just south of Myrtle Beach. Ian is being described as one of the largest natural disasters in Florida's history. Right now, at least 27 people are dead, but officials fear that number is much higher. Rescue crews are still desperately looking for people stranded inside their homes.
Whenever we left on the boat, it was just a scary feeling, like you don't know if you're ever going to see them again, if you're going to see your house again, your animals again.
I just want the people of Florida to know.
President Biden has approved major disaster declaration requests for both Florida and South Carolina, providing both states with immediate federal funds. It's been a busy week for our meteorologists as they've been tracking Ian. Meteorologist Jim Castillo joins us now. And Jim, what's next for this storm?
Well, what we're seeing now is that it's continuing to die down, which is great news, moving inland right now, right into North Carolina. So check out the wind, 50 miles an hour, but some higher gusts around that center. Again, 60 miles south-southeast of Greensboro, North Carolina, moving north at about 15. The problem is that we're still seeing those gusty winds taking down some trees, power lines, and causing power outages, and also some flash flooding, a big concern. So you can see that rainfall anywhere from Raleigh all the way back into really eastern portions of Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, all the way up to Washington, D.C. And that track, remember, it started in the Atlantic Ocean and then moved right over western Cuba, west of Havana, then over the barrier islands of places like Fort Myers Beach, and then just north of Fort Myers and south of Port Charlotte, then right just south of Orlando, and then today made landfall at Georgetown in South Carolina. So we're finally saying goodbye to this storm, but of course we'll keep updates on that flooding issue in the Appalachians through the weekend, and our weather forecast looks fantastic. I'll show you that, and the high pressure that's keeping us sunny coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Jim. Hurricane Ian made landfall as a powerful Category 4 hurricane on Wednesday, bringing damaging winds and flooding to southwest Florida. Brandon Lewis from our National Verify team looks into how often major hurricanes hit the U.S.
Category 5 hurricanes are the strongest storms on the Saffir-Simpson scale. They have winds in excess of 157 miles per hour and can cause widespread destruction. Hurricane Ian made landfall Wednesday with winds of 155 miles per hour, just shy of Category 5 status. This prompted people on social media to ask how many times a hurricane of that magnitude has hit the U.S. So let's verify. Have only 4 Category 5 strength hurricanes hit the mainland U.S.? Our sources are the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the University of Miami's Tropical Atlantic Headquarters. More than 270 Atlantic hurricanes have hit the U.S. since record-keeping began in 1851. Most were considered minor hurricanes, but NOAA says there were 4 storms that reached Category 5 strength when they made landfall on the mainland. The first was the Labor Day hurricane in 1935 that hit the Florida Keys. Then there was Hurricane Camille in Mississippi in 1969, Andrew in 1992 south of Miami, and Michael in 2018 along the Florida Panhandle. So, yes, there have only been 4 Category 5 strength hurricanes to hit the mainland U.S. There were also additional Category 5 storms that hit the U.S. territories of Puerto Rico or the U.S. Virgin Islands. Just because a storm isn't a Category 5 doesn't mean it can't cause significant damage. Hurricane Katrina was a Category 5 storm, but weakened to a Category 3 by the time it made landfall near New Orleans in 2005. It remains the nation's costliest hurricane. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Good information there, Brandon. Thank you. St. Louisans are doing their part to help those affected by Hurricane Ian. Churches on the Streets is looking to fill up this truck with disaster relief supplies. Tomorrow, the organization is collecting those donations from 9 to 5 at 209 Old St. Louis Road in Wood River, Illinois. Once the truck is filled, they will drive down to Southwest Florida.
When they see that their homes are completely gone or underwater, nothing's left, and you're the first one to be able to be there and give them a hug, give them tarps, give them something cold to drink, something to eat, and things that they're going to need, it means a lot.
There's no hard deadline on when the truck needs to be filled. Organizers say they want the supplies as soon as possible so they can provide immediate relief to impacted families. Project 5's Give 75 campaign is partnered with the American Red Cross to help raise money for Hurricane Ian relief. You can make a donation by texting the word donate to 314-425-5355. If you use Interstate 44 in West County, you could be facing major detours tonight. 2 hours ago, MoDOT began closing the eastbound lanes at Big Bend for bridge work. The westbound lanes will then close at midnight. The good news here for drivers is that the work is only temporary. 3 lanes in both directions should reopen by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Let's take a live look over at Busch Stadium tonight. The Cardinals are once again chasing a championship, their 12th World Series title. Albert Pujols also adding a career home run to his total, now at 701. This weekend marks the final regular season homestand for Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina. As you can imagine, tickets for the final home games and the upcoming Wild Card Series games are getting pretty pricey pretty quick. The Cardinals are expecting 46,000 plus fans per game this weekend and for next weekend's Wild Card Series. The Vice President of Ticket Sales tells 5 on Your Side this year's sales are through the roof.
We're going to end up being over 3.3 million tickets sold for the year, which is just a fabulous number when you basically consider coming off of COVID and the work stoppage in the off season.
Fans can thank both Pujols and Molina by signing 7-foot-tall thank you cards that are in Ballpark Village. Once you have the one last chance to sign them tomorrow before the game. And of course, tomorrow is the start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's also the Sister Strut Walk and Car Parade. The event raises awareness about breast cancer and women of color. 5 on Your Side's Kelly Jackson is this year's MC. It starts with a pep rally at 8 a.m. at 15th and Chestnut. Just go to kstk.com/sistastrut for more information. St. Charles County residents have a new place to face their fears. Tonight, Kokomo Joe's unveiled its first ever horror attraction. Fear the Haunted House follows the story of an evil circus clown who lures customers to his seemingly fake haunted attraction. Kokomo Joe's recommends this experience for guests 12 and older, but there is a toned down experience for younger kids.
With the kid-friendly version, we're going to turn on the lights, as you can kind of see, make it more lit in there. We're going to have a guide go through there. Some Indiana Jones music will be playing, some adventure music, and that'll be super cool.
Fear the Haunted House will be open from 7 to 11 p.m. every Friday and Saturday through October 29th. And there are plenty of fall activities happening this weekend on both sides of the river. For details, just text the word fall to 314-425-5355 and we will send you a link.
Fun stuff, right?
And switching gears over to weather now, Jim. One thing that's sure not to scare anybody is this forecast, because it is gorgeous out there.
It is. You know, just talking to some good friends that are pilots and 787 pilot at American Airlines, loving this flying weather, right? Just beautiful. 61 degrees right now at Lambert. Stunning weather. It's going to continue because high pressure's in control. And of course, Ian is so big that it keeps high pressure from moving much at all. So that's why we're just stuck in this pattern. And look what's happening. So the Drought Monitor came out on Thursday. We're seeing some at least dry conditions in yellow, and that includes part of St. Louis County and also into St. Charles County, Gasconade County, and then also south of Farmington. So we'll be watching that. So we're getting really dry again. 74 for that high today, 76 is the average, and we've had those really chilly overnight lows in the 40s. That's going to continue tonight. And of course, that dew point is in the 40s, about 45. So you get the calm wind. We could drop down to about 45, but going for 48 in St. Louis. There it is, the high pressure at the surface right over Michigan and the Great Lakes. And of course, Ian is in the southeast, so that high really doesn't move much at all. So chilly nights, overnight lows outside of St. Louis, upper 30s to low 40s, maybe 40 Crystal City and also Chesterfield. And then for tomorrow, about 76 for that high, and a north-northeast wind at about 5 to 15, a little bit gusty, but high pressure again, keeping us very sunny. And there's that moisture from Ian right there. So to the east of Cincinnati and then staying away from us. So we're just really sunny as that high pressure stays in control. And really one last check on what's going on with post-tropical storm Ian, 50-mile-per-hour winds, and right around North Carolina, 60 miles south-southeast of Greensboro, moving north at about 15. So flooding and also gusty winds an issue with that. 10-day forecast is showing temperatures in the mid-70s this weekend. Overnight low, still pretty chilly in the lower 50s, but a little bit milder than what we've seen. 74 for Monday, still sunny, high pressure. 76 on Tuesday, almost 80 on Wednesday before we finally start to cool off. A cold front comes through here, and then 72 for Thursday. No rain with that is the way it's looking now. It gets close, though. 64 for Friday, 66 on Saturday. And then it warms back up again after that, but really dry in this 10-day period.
All right, thanks, Jim. That's it for your news at 10. Ahmad and Corey are joining us now for 5 on your sideline.